Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of State Champs Chat. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lauren.
And first we're going to start off with talking about what's trending, and we're going to talk about some early season injuries. Two Michigan High School Player of the Year candidates both got injured this past week in week 3, Dalen Hayes and Caleb Perry. And this is a trend that we see happening a lot.
It is, but they're still getting recruited by these universities. I mean, you think of players like Shane Morris. You know, he's out his entire senior year, and he comes into Michigan. He doesn't really do that much. So what does that say for them about recruiting?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a topic that's being talked about a lot right now. For example, Dalen Hayes is being recruited at USC, and he has only played like 5 high school games in his high school career before this year. And
he's been injured. He gets injured at the beginning of every season, and what the recruiters see is basically all based on camps.
Camps and what their potential is and how they think it's going to be when they're their coach. But it just amazes me, and I question it a little bit in terms of how they can recruit someone that's injured.
I know. I definitely agree with that, and I'm a little skeptical about it because, I mean, you see some of these players doing so well, they might not have played as much during their high school career, but then you also see other players that are kind of duds. They were expected to be these amazing people, and they haven't really performed that well.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier. What they see in the camps might not necessarily be actual in-game pressure.
Exactly. Like, a lot of quarterbacks are not actually getting run at by a 6'4", 250-pound lineman or linebacker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's hard to see how they will actually perform in a real game.
Yeah, and it also, these early season injuries affect the teams a lot because I think, you know, Dalen Hayes is playing at Ann Arbor Skyline. They were probably relying on him a lot this year, and now he's injured. So it's really interesting, you know, that injuries are happening, and it's interesting to note maybe they should try to prevent injuries more in high school
stuff
games.
like that.
Interesting to talk about. This week for our Athlete of the Week is a basketball player, Miles Bridges out of Flint, and he officially announced this week that he's narrowed down his college choices to 3.
Michigan State, Kentucky, and Indiana, all 3 big powerhouse basketball teams, so I think that he has a really good selection to choose from.
Yeah, we chose him as our Athlete of the Week because he's a 5-star recruit, and he said, which I thought was really respectful, he said, you know, I don't want to have anyone be under false pretenses. I'm going to say, you know, these are my top 3. I'm not going to mess around with trying to figure all this out. He goes, I want the recruiting process to be over, just like I know a lot of players are wanting it to just be done with. Cassius Winston supposedly is announcing his decision this Friday on where he's going, which is really exciting. So I think a lot of them want this to be done before basketball season.
I definitely agree with that. Something that they don't have to worry about, so they can just focus on the game and what really matters, what they love.
Yes, definitely. And now it's time to talk about our hot topics. Back to some high school football. 2 high school football players out of Texas near San Antonio from John Jay High School were suspended.
They were suspended. They hit a referee in the back at the end of the game. They were mad at calls that he was making during the game, and they just decked him from the back. His head whipped back. It was really not
It was really
pretty.
bad. And Texas, their high school association is really upset about it. They suspended them not only from school, but from playing, and they're saying they really don't want these guys to play football again.
The school system is really concerned about it, and they say that they don't want this to be like a role models for younger kids to look after, and something that should never be acceptable.
Yeah, I think it's really good that they're taking a serious stand on this. Obviously, it made national news, and it's kind of a big deal. So it's important to remember sportsmanship-like conduct when you guys are playing in your games because it's a really big deal, and you don't want to be in the news for something you know, a spur-of-the-moment decision that really affected a lot of people.
A lot of people, and it affects your reputation as well. I don't know. Sportsmanlike contact both with players and with referees and with coaches, just anyone in general.
Yeah, very important to remember, guys. Now it's time to talk about Score Fumble. We're going to head to the NFL briefly. They have a new extra point rule this year.
They do. They actually moved the line of scrimmage to the 15-yard line from the 10-yard line, making it an extra 5 yards for them to kick that extra point. And a lot of the players have been missing them, actually. The make it percentage has gone down.
Yeah, it has gone down. And so we were wondering, do you guys think this is a score fumble? Let us know. We think that it's a score.
I definitely think it's a score. I think it makes games more interesting. A 7-6 game like that, I don't know. I just think it makes it, I don't know, it makes it more exciting.
Yeah, I think it applies more pressure. You know, they have to be on at all times.
All times.
Players.
And a lot of people think that extra points are usually a freebie kick. Like they're going to make field goals and stuff, and they're stressing out about it. But I think extra point is a freebie point that they can have. Yeah. But now the kickers really have to focus on getting those as well.
Yeah, it's important to take all plays seriously. And I think the NFL is trying to crack down on that, which is good. Now it's time for our clip of the week, finally, and this is an awesome clip. We just thought it was great.
Cute.
It's a little girl skateboarding in Brazil. Apparently she's a huge skateboarding fan, and she dresses up and she tries to do this trick twice,
but she wasn't wearing her fairy wings the first time. When she put the fairy wings on, she did the trick. I
think it's adorable. She put them on and then makes the landing, spun the skateboard. I'm not sure what it's called exactly. And I just thought it was an awesome clip to share with you guys.
Really cute. Our little fairy.
Yeah, I thought it was a great clip. So make sure that you're sending your clips of the week with us, whether it's from your high school games or funny things you see on the internet. Always let us know what you want us to talk about. This is your show. We're talking about what's trending, sports, and you guys. So let us know on social media, and thanks for watching, you guys.
We'll see you next week.